What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be taking a look at the charts. Is the Dow going to get a bounce here in the pre-markets right now? As I'm making this video, it's getting a little bounce. Will it continue? How high could it continue, and for how long? And then Bitcoin, we're going to take a look at some macro charts that I've had forever. We're going to take a look at some targets on there and why I have them. And we'll take a look at the invalidation point. As you guys know, I think we're in a bear market until possibly middle or end of 2023. I'll also tell you why. That doesn't mean we can't get bounces up. But remember, always, everything you do is always your decision. I'll never tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to short, when to long. You guys know what I'm doing. You need to make up your own mind. Never follow someone else's trades. Make sure you practice, learn what you're doing before getting into it. Now, before we begin, if you guys would take 1 second out, it only takes a second, scroll down, smash that thumbs up, and leave a comment of what you think Bitcoin's bottom price is going to be and what Bitcoin's top price is going to be for this year. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about that. Let's get into it. So ever since we broke this wedge up here, we came back up, had some fake outs above, but we did drop down. As you guys know, my target is around 30,700. Now, if we go below 30,700, then it's possible, well, let's say if we go below this bottom trend line, then it's possible it could get a whole lot worse. We've been talking about that. I think the Dow Jones's last chance is around this area to reverse this market. If it does not, it could get very bad. We'll take a look at what that looks like. And that is here. This is the Dow Jones currently, and this is back in the 1929, the Great Depression. As you can see, what happened after that, I believe it was let's take a look at how long that correction was. That was about 90%. That's pretty bad. If we was to do 90% over here, where would we be? That would put us down below the 5,000 range, below this low here, just like over here. So it could get very bad. Now, does this mean it's guaranteed to happen? Absolutely not. Does it mean it's a good possibility? Absolutely. Oftentimes, the markets make the same patterns. Like you guys know, there's triangles, bull flags, bear flags. There's bigger patterns also, and this one does seem to be playing out almost identical. We'll be keeping an eye on it close on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you tick your notification bells to get you notified when I post new videos. Now, this video is from a while back. This shows my Elliott wave count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, the support and resistance levels right here in the blue. And this indicator, if you guys want to check it out, is a RSI support RSI supply and demand. I don't know what I was talking about, but RSI supply and demand. And as you can see, we have our supply and demand structures here and here. So this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and wave 5. And within each one of these, there's 5 waves. Now, I know a lot of people say it'll never go below 20. Possibly 20 could hold. I'm not saying it can't. But if we do break below that, I know other people are talking about 15 to 17 staying above this high here. But if these 5 waves are finished, like I think they are, we could go much, 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 much lower in Bitcoin. So just be careful. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this stuff, but you need to at least get an idea of the possibilities. It's not always up. The traditional markets have been in a bull market ever since the creation of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has never seen a traditional bear market. I've talked about that a lot on this channel. And if it does see a big bear market for the traditional markets, could be in a bear market for the next 2 years. If that's the case, Bitcoin could go a lot lower than people think. So let's take a look at the DXY. The DXY, we did hit our target here, went above, did not get support at the 104. If we do get a pump today, this is, and I believe that the dollar will fall if the markets pump. If it does, looking for this 55 EMA around 103, 104 range to get a bounce. But once we break above this again, I believe we'll get support there, headed to our next target at 105. And then after that, now, if like I said, that the traditional markets are in a bear market. I think it'll take many, many years to recover from that. It takes a lot of time to get confidence back in the market after a lot of people lose money, right? So if that was to happen, let's look at the monthly DXY. I've showed this a few times. If you look at the monthly, we could have many years of upside on the DXY. This is kind of a crazy target, I know, but it's definitely a possibility. This falling wedge right here, if we take a look at this falling wedge, which we broke out, and as you guys know, I've been bullish on the dollar since way back here, for many, many reasons that I've explained over and over. But if we take a measured move of that wedge, that gets the dollar all the way up to 173. Again, does that have to happen? Absolutely not. Is it a good possibility? Absolutely. That would make sense if the traditional bear market went for the next 2 years, and then the dollar would just rise after that. You can see one of the things that I always talk about also is in 2008, gold fell, silver fell, everything fell with the markets except the dollar. The dollar is the only thing that rose. So keep that stuff in mind. All right, let's take a look at the Amazon versus Bitcoin chart. As you guys know, I've been looking at this since December 2nd when I posted my video. You can check my YouTube page. It's on there. It is playing out almost perfectly. Now, if this drop was the same, the 47% from this high here, this would get us down to approximately the 24,000 range. So I believe there is a possibility of one more touchdown before we get a decent bounce, and then we may range around in this area, get a bounce back up into the mid 30s range, just like we did over here. All in all, if it plays out like this, it'll take till about the middle or end of 2023, and we could see as low as 37. I have some higher targets too, but this is just the worst case scenario in my opinion. Now, if you guys are familiar with Amazon, it took 10 years to break this all-time high. Once all the scams were washed out, like all the scammy cryptos will get washed out if this happens, it'll take a long time for the market to get confidence again. Just something to you know, I know a lot of people are big on the 4-year cycle. That doesn't have to happen. Sounds good in theory, right? But if the traditional markets crash, no halving is going to save Bitcoin. That's just facts. So anyways, let's take a look at the longer term. So this is my fib channels we've had drawn in here, and I showed the parabolic rises. Once we broke, we were in a bear market. We broke this way back here. We got our fake pump, get everybody bullish again, calling 100,000, and then dropping from there. As you can see, there's plenty more time for Bitcoin to, once it breaks up above this, which will probably be in the middle or end of 2023, then we may be entering the next bull market. But again, if we drop that low, people are going to be fearful of crypto. It's going to take a long time to get confidence back in. I'm not a believer of the 4-year cycle. I'm a believer of the election cycle. It's more so what happens. This one may not continue like the others. So be careful with that 4-year narrative. I want to also zoom in here, look at our fibs. As you can see, the next fib for support is down here around this, again, 23 to 24,000 range. If we get a bounce back up here and break above these mid 40s, lower to mid 40s, and get support back upon here, then I will consider that the bear market is over. But otherwise, I think we'll bounce around down here like we did up here for 5 or 6 months. And then once this breaks, our next level, and I kind of put a time frame on these. Don't hold me to the time frame, but if it was to get over to this 14,000 level, that'd be around the end of this year. Possibly get a decent bounce there, get everybody bullish again. But once this breaks, the next level is around this 62 to 6,500. Now, the weekly chart. So the weekly, once we broke this, we knew we broke structure and we were definitely in a bear market. Although I believe this is where the bear market started. I called that top at 64. I called for after this for us to get a bull trap. I did not think it'd get that high. This was obviously a bull trap and just a liquidity hunt to get above this high, take everybody's money and continue down. Then we started looking at this hidden bearish divergence, higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action. Knowing that that was bearish, then we broke, obviously, the main support. Now, we almost hit our target there, 24.5, and that was just, we'll go into smaller time frames, show you how I got those targets. But if this was the top, right, not considering this the top, this was the top in my opinion. If we corrected 90% from there, would get us down to that 6,000-ish level. Now we can look at the RSI on the weekly. Looks like the weekly should get one more test down here to this low. Then could that be the end of the bear market? Possibly. Now, once this breaks, if we don't get support in this area and bounce around for a while, then the bear market could end a lot quicker. If it just breaks through, get a quick spike, and then back up, then we could get a recovery like the 2021. But I don't think that's the most likely case scenario. Now, as you guys know, we've started let's see, where is my Twitter? Thought I had my Twitter on here. I lost it. Anyways, oh, here it is. As you guys know, we have a trading competition. We're going to go into the smaller time frames after this, so be patient. Make sure you watch through the whole video because there is a lot of information here, a lot of targets, a lot of areas we've been watching for a long time that are seeming to play out. But we're having the trading competition. It's totally free on Prime XBT. You can go to my Twitter, click on my link, or click on the link down below. Once you get in there, you go to the contest section, which is right here. And you'll see Savvy's Trading Clash. It'll ask for a pin. Put in 777 777. It's totally free to join with real cash prizes. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. I am currently in 89th place. I'm not using super high leverage. A lot of people are because there's no risk. It's not your own money, but you can win real rewards. Also, if you are trading on Prime XBT, you can use my promo code Savvy50. That'll get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus. It'll give you up to a $7,000 bonus using Savvy50. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. Now, as you guys know, this is why I stayed bearish. 5 waves down cannot be a correction. 3 waves up, that was a correction. And we had our first target. If we measure this bear flag, actually it hit there. It was around 25.2. We had that in our 4-hour time frame. But I do have this longer one here, and this is when we broke this wedge way back here. We put this target in that everyone was calling me crazy, around 24.3. Still believe there's a good possibility we get down to this range. Now, if we get bullish here and start breaking through these EMAs, our first EMA to break through and get support is around 31.2. If we do that, then we have the 13 EMA around 32,250. And then we have the 21 EMA around 34-ish. If it breaks that 34-ish, then the highest I see us going is coming back up to retest this bear flag. But on the weekly, our resistance is 35. We talked about that over here. If we are able to get above here, now remember, we can get a wick above and still close below. A weekly close above this bottom trend line, which within the next couple weeks would be around 35.3. Then we could start to get a little bullish, but until then, everything remains bearish. Yeah, and then we have the lower target, that being the measured move. Measuring this as the flag pull, this is the bear flag from the break of the trend here, and we bring that down. And that, again, gets us to that same level, mid $6,000 range. All right, now the 4 hours. So the 4 hour, here's that resistance right there at 35. As you can see, the 200 EMA would probably meet up with it down there if it's able to get up there. We can also look at the RSI. We broke back above our resistance, came down, tested it, got support. But another break of this, and it's probably going to be a pretty quick downfall. How low could that go? We'll talk about that in a second. But if you also will check out the RSI here, we're in this rising channel, got rejected at the top again. Chances are we'll test the bottom. That'll line up with the old support on the RSI. If that breaks, that should become new resistance and then continue down for lower lows. Ethereum, or wait a minute. Yeah. Ethereum. So Ethereum, we've had this target since we broke over here around 1919. We hit that, seem to be getting support on it right now. We had this lower target around 1560, and we've almost hit that. What did we get here? We got about 2,300. So we still, I think we're still have a good chance of coming down and testing this. We're getting rejected at all the EMAs here. Oh, one more thing on the weekly I wanted to point out. So on our weekly chart, where is it? Right here. We had our weekly sell signal. As you can see, the 8, the 13, and the 21 crossed the 55. The next candle opened and closed below the 8 EMA. That is a weekly sell signal. Be careful, be cautious. All right, let's get into Ethereum. So that's Ethereum. If this 1564 breaks, I see around 680-ish. And remember, guys, if we are in the longer term bear market ending in the end of 2023-ish, we could go even lower than that. But if you look here, our RSI target for Ethereum is way down to this range, which we have reached many times. That doesn't mean you can't get a quick little spike up and before continuing down. So let's get into Litecoin. Litecoin, same thing. My target's still around 25. But again, if we are in the bear market that lasts till middle or end of 2023, it could go much, much lower. XRP, as you guys know, 28 is my first target, and then 17. Something I wanted to point out in XRP that could be very bad news for XRPers is if this is a descending triangle, XRP's dead. But I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but for anyone to get even a tad bit bullish on XRP, I would have to see it above 75 cents. And that's this long-term trend line. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the likes, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I am very curious to what everybody's opinions are as they change a lot in this market. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.